Okay. So let's look at anti-droid characters. So every phase has droids, right? So now we can actually try and figure out what characters can we use for this raid. And if we have these phases identified, we can try to target them individually. So one of the characters that a lot of people have, and this was mainly due to the Yoda event, is Eeth Koth. Eeth Koth is one of those Jedi, really has no purpose in the game, to be honest, outside of the Yoda event. Most people don't use him for anything. He's a placeholder that a lot of people have leveled up to an amount that they wish they didn't, and they're trying to find a use for it. He has an ability block that is a 100% on droids. He has a 75% chance of stunning with that same special. And with his basic attack, he can put defense down. Problem is, his damage really isn't that high. My personal opinion, he's still not going to be feasible in these raids, in any primary group. Now, we're just kind of going through the idea of a purely anti-droid group. But if the Rancor raid is any indication, if you go all anti-droid, chances are you're not going to get the result that you want. But it's good to have a whole kind of collection of anti-droid characters. But what do you think, Ranger? I don't think he's going to be too viable.
I did see on the video they did that Anakin was going to be a major part of it. I would think any Clone Wars tunes from that. I just have a suspicion. The themes just go through my mind. Anakin, some of the clones are going to have abilities with their AoEs and stuff. Those are going to be your tunes.
Their group composition in that video was the worst composition I've ever seen.
Or was it?
No. It was.
Or was it?
It was Ahsoka, Yoda, Anakin, 5, and
wait, I didn't see Yoda. Oh yeah, Yoda was in there, but I thought it was the two clones like.
It was Clone Sergeant and 5.
Yeah.
And then it was Anakin, Ahsoka, and Yoda. Like, it is the stupidest group assembly I've ever seen. I don't understand why.
Well, that's your opinion, buddy.
I'm still gonna stick with that. There's no.
No way, man. I'm gonna run that team. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna get all the loot.
Man, I'm glad that you can stay on the bottom of the damage leaderboard and get me more loot.
Yeah. I do think Anakin though would be a good one because I'm really loving Anakin, man. I think he's gonna be a good character to have for this raid.
Yes. So Anakin would be one of those characters like we're mentioning that would really be a character that may not have a specific droid ability, but he's going to provide synergies with other characters that do have it. So it's a good idea to kind of keep all of that in mind when you're composing groups. But we're just forming a purely anti-droid group right now, assuming that that would just dominate this. So that's kind of what we're theory crafting a little bit here. Okay, so I think Ranger and I are both in agreement that Eeth Koth probably won't serve a huge purpose in the new raid. The next character will kind of stick with the Jedi theme, will be Ima-Gun. And Ima-Gun has a basic attack that does 100% extra damage against droids. His basic attack is one of the better basic attacks in the game already. It does about 4,000 damage. That means you are now doing 8,000 damage on a basic attack to droids with Ima-Gun.
Add that with Anakin's leader ability with crit and everything. Look out.
Exactly. So you can do a lot of damage with that setup. Not to mention that his basic also does defense down. And so that's also a really useful ability to have. So Ima-Gun is actually the character that I'm farming right now. I've actually stopped farming mods and went back to Cantina battles, and I am farming Ima-Gun. He's a character I wanted since I started playing this game, to be honest. And this just gave me more incentive to kind of push him all the way up. I already had him at 4 stars, now I'm going to just finish him off to 7. But he is a character that, if you guys aren't sure what to farm, like you don't have your normal collection of characters already, like from Cantina, you don't have Royal Guard, you don't have Old Ben, you don't have GS, I would recommend doing those first. But if you already have a lot of those staple characters and you're looking for somebody to farm, Ima-Gun D and Jedi Knight Anakin are probably two of the better ones. If you're looking specifically for the raid, I would say definitely Ima-Gun D. Because he is going to be a lot of damage against droids.
Yeah, I just started farming them because of you, douche. I was working on Lando, but I was like, God damn it, farm this piece of.
Hey, he's good. I like his.
If he doesn't work out, I know who to go on the stream and criticize. You know.
Yeah.
All right, next.
I will take all the blame if he doesn't pan out.
All right, next.
But with 100% extra basic damage, I think he's gonna work out. So the next one is actually a new character that we'll discuss.
Okay.
Is Jawa Scavenger. So he is available through Cantina shipments. So I'm actually farming Ima-Gun D and the Jawa Scavenger at the same time. So it's actually working out really well. He is... This is the one thing about Jawa. So not all Jawa are anti-droid.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them, Jawa Engineer and Chief Nebbit, are actually going to be pro-ally droids. And then you have Dathcha, Jawa, and Jawa Scavenger that are actually anti-opposing droids. So either way, they all work well in some way with droids. It just happens that 3 of them hurt opposing droids, 2 of them help your own droids. Jawa Scavenger is one of them that hurts opposing droids. And his basic does offense down to droids, which is just a really awesome thing to have. As we're going through all of these other characters, they all have defense down. To skip ahead just really quickly, Dathcha has a leader ability that gives everybody the ability for defense down anyways. So if you have a Dathcha lead and you're making an anti-droid group, Jawa Scavenger gives you the option for an offense down, which may be one of the better things against Grievous. So if you're looking at kind of how these characters might work out in phases, Ima-Gun D will probably be viable in any phase. His 8,000 damage will probably be close to doing, I mean, I'm guesstimating here, maybe about 25 to 50% of those small droids in phase 1. And he would still be a lot of massive damage against Grievous also. So he's kind of viable in a lot of different phases. Jawa Scavenger, you would probably want more on a big boss character in order to reduce their offense. He may be viable in phase 1 against that middle modified B2 looking droid, but I think he would probably fit the Grievous part better. And of course the AAT, which is also seems to be one of those type of characters.
Okay.
What do you think, Ranger?
I'm with you so far, brother. This is your team, man. I already told you I'm running the team that was on the video, so I'm out.
All right. Then the next character is one that makes me sick to even mention.
Don't do it.
I am farming Ugnaught.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know where he's at. I gotta find him. God.
He's in arena.
Where are you, little piggy, little douche? So I could promote him.
My Ugnaught was ethereal for the longest time. He was happily sitting at 12 out of 25, and all 12 shards came from Bronzium or Galactic War finishing. He actually has a lot of potential in phase 1, assuming that our phase 1 is correct. He has the ability to do an AoE droid stun. There's only 2 characters, and this is the next character coming up. 2 characters that do an AoE droid stun to the effect that he does, and that's Ugnaught and then regular Jawa. And because of that, he has actually fit onto my farming plans right now. And I will say that's largely because I don't really have too many other characters I want from Arena right now. I unlocked the other droids, HK and 88. Flobafett gave me some... he teased me for a while about the fact that I had no droids, so I unlocked HK and 88. But now I'm farming Ugnaught, which will probably get me even more ridicule. But
I'm not farming Ugnaught.
I know. and I'm doing it mainly just to see if this will work for phase 1. But 75% droid stun with him, and 75% chance of droid stun AoE with Jawa, along with 50% droid stun with Dathcha. If you're fighting 7 droids, you can basically alternate with them in order to try and control all the droids and reduce the amount of damage that you're taking per round.
Yeah, no, this is not going to be a character, neither of these characters are on Grievous or anything, because remember, on the main characters, whether it's like, you know, like the first raid, they're not stunnable. You can't stun, you're not going to be able to stun Grievous or the battle tank. You're just not.
It's only going to be the AT.
You know, so it's just going to be those initial droids and stuff.
Yep. And then the next character would be the one that I just mentioned, the other one with the 75% AoE droid stun, which is going to be Jawa. I already have Jawa farmed up, so I obviously don't have to do extra farming. But he is actually a useful character for anyone to have. He was one that kind of came on my radar once I noticed that he had 120% potency, and he has an ability to do slow on his main attack. So even though his special ability is primarily directed towards many droids, so he'd be really good in phase 1, a constant slow is actually always useful. And so his basic attack, which I have Omega now, is definitely something that could come in handy in the raids. So Jawa is just a good, solid overall character that you guys can farm. He'll give you a lot of versatility no matter what you're doing, whether it's the raids or even if it's a Rancor raid. His slow is actually pretty good once you put potency mods on him. So he's actually a character multifaceted, unlike Ugnaught, which is much more droid raid only type of versatility. I see you haven't gone too far into Jawa. What do you think about him from what you have so far, Ranger?
I don't. Houdini! These characters, man.
Those are my main 4 so far. So we've mentioned 5, but one of them I don't really count, which is going to be Eeth Koth. Eeth Koth is there, but he's not one of the main ones that I'm worried about. You have Ima-Gun D, who I'm farming. You have Ugnaught, which I'm farming. Jawa Scavenger, which I'm farming. Jawa, which I've already finished. And then the 5th character is one that I'm also farming now, which is Dathcha. Dathcha has the ability in the lead as a leader. So I was trying to figure out who to put as a leader with this group. None of them really have a great leader ability. Ima-Gun D is good, but I don't have any other Jedis on the squad. So I was trying to find one that fits well. Dathcha, with his lead, gives all attacks the ability to put defense down, as well as remove turn meter from droids. And when I was looking at that, that seemed like something that could be just fantastic for this raid. Not necessarily a turn meter reduction group, maybe that will work in phase 2 and 3, but for phase 1, where you're just worried about handling 7 droids, 6 droids, Dathcha has a really nice ability. Now, one of the things that I mentioned before, though, Dathcha's leader ability, the turn meter is the best part. The defense down really isn't anything terribly spectacular because Ima-Gun D does that anyways. The Ugnaught does defense down with his basic. Eeth Koth does defense down with his basic. But Jawa does the slow, and Jawa Scavenger do offense down. So 2 out of the other 4 characters already have an overlap with the defense down. So that part of the ability may not be terribly worth it, but the turn meter reduction could have major play in the raid. What do you think, Ranger?
I think that's a good pick. I mean, you're going to want one of them. I don't think all of them. Yeah. I think one of them, because you're still going to need some heavy hitters in there. You're going to need probably like an Akbar or a Rex, because you're going to get some stuff on you probably don't want to have on you. But I can see one of these characters, use. I can see Anakin, Ima-Gun D, maybe Dathcha or Jawa, Ugnaught. I can't believe I'm saying that. Maybe with a Akbar and then a Rey or a Leia for I mean, Leia's really starting to. I'm getting ready to put her on my PvP team once I get her fixed up and everything. Because, man, when you get her modded and everything, she hits so hard. And that times 2 for everybody is really, I mean, put that on Anakin and let him go AoE. Yeah, look out, buddy. You're in deep, deep doo-doo.
And this is now completely a guess on my part. It's going to reiterate something that I mentioned earlier about farming. We obviously don't know the mechanics of the phases. I'm just taking a guess here, just based on other MMOs that I've played in the past. My guess is that either Grievous or the AAT is going to be one of those that has an ability that at the end of each of his turns adds buffs to himself.
Yeah.
And you have to dispel them before the next round.
You're going to need a Dispeller.
Yeah, and you're going to need a Dispeller that works with basic attacks. You could try to have a group composition of Qui-Gon, Tebow, Mace, Ventress. All of those have cooldowns though, so that could be one potential. I am going to mention again, I think pay-to-play might need Sunfac, and free-to-play might need Plo Koon. Again, this is just theory at this point. We don't know the mechanics of everything.
No.
But there could be a need for those two characters if they are one of those that eventually just keep on getting buffs at the end of the turn and you have to dispel it before they go again.
I mean, do you think when they were sitting there looking at this raid, like, what's our worst character? Ugnaught. Well, let's make him viable. Yeah, good idea.
Actually, yes.
God.
So,
no!
they had the they had the post on the forums, I want to say about a month ago, about which characters do you want to see reworked, and Ugnaught was one of them. Ugnaught and Coruscant Underworld Police were the two that came up so often.
Because people are trolls, man.
But it's true, they both suck.
But let them suck. They should have never been introduced to the game. I mean, two immaterial characters.
Yes,
I mean,
one of the devs asked. The devs asked, which characters do you want to see reworked? And people said Cup and Ugnaught. But I think what happened is that they were like, oh, well, we don't need to rework Ugnaught because he might work out really well for this raid. And because of that, I do think that the fact that Ugnaught is useful.
Everybody that did that should be ashamed of themselves. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. I swear, if I have to farm Ugnaught, I'm going to be so pissed.
You're going to be more pissed if you didn't start now.
No, I'll be happy. I've got Jawa halfway there. That won't take me long. You already got me doing Ima-Gun.
Yes.
Turd basket.
And I'll mention this again. These are all for people that... my recommendations are based solely on the raid. These are characters that will help you in the raid. Kind of like afterwards, Akbar and Ewok Elder became obvious that they would be needed in Phase 1 in order to dispel for free-to-play players. Otherwise, you needed a Rex. You really need to make sure you have a good collection of characters first before you start going specialized farming. Before you start going for raid characters, make sure you have a lot of the normal ones like Rey, GS, Old Ben, Royal Guard, even Dathcha, Fives, Qui-Gon, Barriss, Lumi, Phasma. Like, there is a lot of staple characters you will want in your collection before you start getting distracted by all the shiny new raid characters. It will provide you a lot more benefit in the overall aspects of the game. They might not give you as much in the raid, but the raid is only part of what you guys should be doing in this game. If you're just starting, if you played for a little while but you still don't have a large collection, make sure that you don't focus solely on the raid characters. So, just wanted to make sure everyone.
And now my head's bleeding. I can't believe I'm supporting Ugnaught 2016. Oh, God.